Hello there. So, this week is going to be all about writing a paragraph. So, first of all, let's talk about what do you know already about writing a paragraph. If you can jot them some notes on paper, that would really be wonderful. And, we're going to try to make it sound like we are, really discussing in the classroom. So, um, although I really wish you would be here, it just so happens that we just cannot do that at this moment. So let's go on ahead and do what we can do. So when we are writing a paragraph, maybe um, we are what? So maybe we need to have, some people would think we have to have 3 to 5 sentences. Okay. Some people would think maybe we need to have 10 sentences, maybe. Okay. So now that we are just really starting, I know that most of you are thinking you have to have a topic sentence at least, right? So that would be a very good start. Um, we need to find out what needs to be included for our paragraph to be strong and for our paragraph to really have a good structure. Okay, so you may have already seen this, what I'm going to show you. Um, it's called the hamburger writing in a paragraph form. Okay, so let's see if I'll be able to show that to you. Oops, it's not going to move. So hold on for a moment. All right, I'm going to move that right there and we'll click on this one. So have you already seen this before? Okay, so the first thing they said is you have a hamburger bun, which is your topic sentence. And of course, your topic sentence tells the readers what the writer is going to talk about. Your topic sentence also helps hook the readers in and helps organize the ideas. So having a topic sentence makes this one thing. Like it has to be about one topic, okay? Which means your sentences one, two, and three over here, including your conclusion, needs to all relate to that topic sentence. Do not stray away from there. So we are going to look at a few things where we have a mentor text, and that's going to be in your classwork, and it's called paragraph writing, and this is something that we are going to do together. So if I click here view details, it would say watch the video on slide number 1 to ensure getting a good grade. So I want you to go ahead and click the one that has your name on it on the side. This video is going to be on slide number 1. So you can either click present. Once you click present, you should be able to see the play button in red. It will be right here in the middle. And of course, if you click escape, you will go back to the slide mode, or you will have this link to view it on YouTube. So hopefully that would work out. Now let's look at our mentor text. So we really need to make sure that we are answering this properly. So the first thing is A. I want you to just go ahead and also type on your slide: a great paragraph explains the topic with many details and elaboration. So elaboration is meaning you're giving a lot of supporting details and you're really talking about it to the extent of what you know and what you have found out, okay? From maybe a research or maybe a background knowledge. So let's read our mentor text together. And it says right here, butterflies grow and change throughout their lives. First, they are eggs. Usually, butterflies lay tiny eggs on leaves. Then, caterpillars hatch from the eggs. Caterpillars eat lots and lots. Then, they make a cocoon. Inside, they change. Finally, a butterfly comes out of the cocoon. Then, when butterfly lay eggs, the cycle begins again. It's amazing that a butterfly can change so much throughout its life. Okay, so we are now going to use our green marking tool over here. We're gonna drag and drop that one, and we're gonna use that like basically to highlight our topic sentence. Okay, so our topic sentence, of course you can resize this as needed, is the very first one, because remember, your topic sentence essentially becomes your oh, hold on, I'm so sorry. We are to put this over here just so we can remember what color of highlighter we need. So go ahead and highlight that just like this. And you're going to find this tool, hold on, this tool right beside the font color. And please highlight that in green. So this is gonna be very, very precise. I need to see the green color for this one. Otherwise, it will be counted as incorrect. Okay. So we have our details, right? So the next thing we are going to do is to really look for those details that help connect the topic sentence to the information the writer wants to give the readers. Details also help strengthen a writer's paragraph and overall writing. So going back to our mentor text right here, any details that we find, we're just gonna color code them yellow. This basically is what details the writer gives us about the butterflies growing and changing throughout their lives. So for our detail number one, we're gonna move that right there, and let us look at this one. So first, they are eggs, right? So that's detail number one. Next to that, basically we are going to talk about, okay, what happens to the egg. Usually the butterflies lay tiny eggs on leaves and so on and so forth. So actually all our details are going to be in yellow. So we have, they are eggs, and then caterpillars hatch from the eggs, so we have that, and then they make a cocoon, and actually they change in the cocoon. Finally a butterfly comes out, and then all that. So anything that's related to the egg, we're just gonna move that right here and actually highlight the whole thing yellow. But I want you to put a space for your actual second detail, wherein we're talking about our caterpillars. So I want there to be a space there and there, so you know that this is now the second detail. Okay, next we're gonna move this over there again, because we're just making sure that we have all the parts that we need. Okay, so hopefully you are able to really just highlight the parts that need to be highlighted. So then they make a cocoon inside, they change. Okay, and then we're just gonna separate this because really this is another part. So finally a butterfly comes out of the cocoon, and then when the butterfly lay eggs again, the cycle begins. So that's actually a fourth detail that is added in. All right, so the way this is set up, if you can see right here, we talk about first they are eggs. That is your second sentence, but that is your first supporting detail. The second sentence to that has something to do with that detail. Okay, just like over here, this caterpillar eats lots and lots is actually related to your second supporting detail. Okay, then we have the third one, they make a cocoon, and then you talk about the cocoon in another sentence, the same as the final step. And then of course our very last one right here that we're gonna do in pink is going to be, nope, I gotta make sure that I get the I. Okay, here we go. It's gonna be so much better with a mouse, but I'm not using a mouse right now. Um, we are going to highlight our closing sentence. So I'm not saying conclusion because this is a closing sentence. Just like there is no hook in this paragraph because this maybe is a body paragraph. And in the introductory paragraph, there we will write a hook and then another conclusion paragraph will have it will contain your conclusion. So this is kind of maybe an in between or just a single paragraph. So a hook is not really needed. Okay, let's try to avoid starting our paragraphs with a question every single time. I want you to go ahead, if it's a single paragraph, go ahead, start with a topic sentence and not a question. So once you are done with this, you may want to pause the video and continue for tomorrow, or you can go ahead and move on for the next day. So click pause on the video for now so that you can copy over all of this because they all have points attached to them. So make sure that you have all of these, please. Okay, so let's say that you actually finished this yesterday and now you are on day 2. That's why there's a recommendation days of doing it on top right there. Let's go on ahead and review the parts of a paragraph, and that was on the side on slide number 2. You have topic, sentence, we have the 3 details, and we have our closing sentence. Remember that we are talking about a single paragraph only with regards to the parts or the elements that we are looking at today. So for the second day, assuming that you stopped yesterday and you're on day 2, we are going to look at explanatory paragraphs, or we have our we're gonna call it informative paragraphs. Okay, so in an informative paragraph, you are mainly explaining, but of course informatives may have different types as well. You may have a paragraph that is really about comparing and contrasting. You may have a paragraph that is mainly about um, describing something. Maybe it's about sequence. You're just explaining step by step. So they're all informative paragraphs. Okay. So uh, today we would like to practice with our explanatory paragraph, and we are going to say the same colors, use the same colors: green for the topic sentence, yellow for the details, all the details that the writer includes, and red, or we're doing pink to identify the closing sentence. Okay, so in an explanatory paragraph, the writer includes details that inform and explain. That's why we are calling it informative paragraph. Okay, let's read over our explanatory paragraph for this one. Think of a person whom you consider to be a hero. So explain why you admire this person. So we are going to read this together. um, you can follow along as I read, or you can read it aloud on your own. My grandmother was an amazing person. She worked hard throughout her life. Even when she was very old, every day she cooked, cleaned, and exercised. She was also a good grandmother. Grandma always sent birthday cards and baked cookies for us to eat. Her life taught me how to be a good person. So that's really nice. I was pretty close with my grandmother, and so we kind of had this experience together. My grandmother would always give us gifts, and she would always visit because she lived in another house at that time. So let's look for what do we need to really highlight for this one. Of course, your topic sentence needs to go on the very beginning, right? My grandmother was an amazing person, and this needs to be our topic sentence. And that means everything else in this paragraph should be details that support about the grandmother being amazing. So please try to separate those three details if you can. Okay, we have it right there in yellow. Okay, she worked hard throughout her life, even though she was very old. Okay, um, actually, that and that go together. There's just really two details for this single paragraph. Remember, you need to look that they are related to that sentence. So she was also a good grandmother, and then her example or details supporting this sentence is she always sent us cards and baked cookies for us to eat. Okay, being a good grandmother. In our closing sentence, her life taught me how to be a good person, because if the grandmother was good, then if you really love your grandmother and you're trying to be just like her, then you will also be a good person if you regard your grandmother as a good person. All right, so this next part you will have to do by yourself. So go ahead and pause the video, and I would like you to read to yourself and highlight what is needed to be highlighted for this time. Take your time. Make sure the topic sentence is in green and all the details in yellow, and then both the closing sentence would be in pink. Now that you are back and maybe done with this one, you have to copy my first one and you have to do the other one by yourself. So we are going to do kind of the same thing in our opinion paragraph. So for the opinion paragraph, basically you will talk about your opinion, or the writer is talking about their opinion, and then they have to provide reasons, okay, or justifications why they think, feel, or believe what they are writing about. It's really about trying to um, persuade or convince the other person about your opinion. So, in our class, we are actually going to use the term persuasive writing. This is what we are going to need. You will still be highlighting in green, yellow, and pink. All right. And we're going to look over our opinion paragraph, and you are going to do the second part on your own, just like we did with the explanatory. So, reading is the most important subject for kids to learn at school. Remember that your first sentence has to be your topic sentence. That means everything else needs to be related to that very first sentence. It says here, reading helps kids understand all the subjects. If you want to learn about science or history, first you have to be able to read. So those two sentences are related to each other. Therefore, we're going to highlight that in yellow and put a space. When kids are good at reading, they can also get better at writing. Reading helps kids learn new words and ideas they can use when they write. So that is related again to each other. Therefore, it will be in one sweep of a highlighter. And remember that the last one should be your closing sentence. So, in other words, we're kind of wrapping it up, but please never use that for your closing sentence. Don't say to wrap it up. Please don't. Let's go ahead and read this. So, that's why reading is more important than any other school subject. Again, this is an opinion piece, okay? Whether you believe, agree, or disagree with this person who wrote this paragraph, it was not me. Um, that is your piece. Maybe you can write an opinion to answer to that. Do you understand what I mean? Because when it's an opinion, somebody can always disagree with it. And this person wrote that the most important subject in school for the kids to learn is reading. So go ahead and pause your video, because you are to copy what I did in the first part and you are to highlight on your own in the Does Homework Make Kids Smarter paragraph. So please be sure that you are highlighting everything that is needed, and this is your opinion piece. Okay, so the next thing, assuming that you took a break and you are now working on day 3 or 3 and 4 and all that, the first thing I want to show you is that you do have a copy of the rubric right here, which means you can actually check whether what is it that Miss Walker is looking for when grading this paper. All right. So the first thing that you really need to do is to read over everything that is on the left side, which is your categories or your criterias. Again, if this is too small for you, you can always make it bigger, 200, 100, and so on and so forth. The most important thing is that you can hit all the points. So let me scroll. That talks about the score of a 4, meaning advanced. Okay, so this is the most important. This is like your goal or your aim. Okay, so I have a topic sentence that is easy to understand. The topic sentence is in the correct place, of course, the beginning of the paragraph. Topic sentence follows the prompt, very important. Okay, if the prompt is about eating and you're writing about a drink, well, that's not exactly following the prompt. And your topic sentence has the topic in an example. Supporting sentence, you need to put more than 4 supporting sentence, more than 4. So just like what we did last time, 2 of the sentences can be related and then the next 2 can be related. Okay, this is a very, very short single paragraph format. And next we have organization. Please make sure your sentences are in the correct order. Okay, if it's following a certain chronological order, you need to make sure that they are all in there. All your details are interesting. You may either start from like the best the biggest thing you're going to talk about, going to smaller details, or if you're talking about opinion, usually your biggest impact of an opinion needs to be maybe in the third detail, you know. So kind of think about how you're going to present it. If, for example, if you're talking to your friends and you're trying to really make them interested to what to you are saying, so that depends on that. You really need to think about your audience when you are writing. So next, of course, mechanics and grammar. Make sure that you capitalize all the first letters of your first word in a sentence. Capitalize everything that is a proper noun, okay? Like names, like your name, or a name of a place. Like instead of just saying restaurant, you actually say demos, for example, okay? Instead of saying just girl or boy, you are saying a name, just like Laika and maybe Rob. Those are capital letters, all right? And try as much as you can to have the proper punctuation, always in a punctuation, and always put a space after the punctuation, comma, period. Click the space bar before starting your next sentence, and really try your hardest to get those spellings correct. All right, so we're gonna talk about the prompts right here. So the first one is, what is the best animal to have as a pet? Okay, so with this one, I would like you to think, I would like you to explain really what makes you believe that that animal should be the best pet. So I want you to think of your topic sentence that you're going to write. So go ahead, maybe start writing on a piece of paper. This is why such and such is the best pet. Now that you have a topic sentence in mind, your details need to come next. So you need to convince your reader, explain to your reader the reasons why you think your animal that you're thinking of would make the best pet. So this is very similar to the other prompt that I gave you in the beginning, right? So as you can see from the planning pages right here, you really need, we're gonna look back at our parts over here. You really need to have a topic sentence. You must have 3 details, bigger details, and then for each detail, you can have 2 sentences there that are related to each other. And then there should be a closing sentence to finish up your paragraph. Your closing sentence should restate which animal should be the best pet, and also you need to make sure that the sentence right there and right there, your topic and your closing are related but not exactly the same sentence. So you have that as your first prompt, and then you have, if you could have any candy to eat, which one would you choose? So please make sure that you pick one specific candy, okay? And then after that, you need to make sure that you will have your reasons and then a closing sentence. So that means your paragraph should contain, let's try to write it over here. So you should have your topic sentence. You should have your detail 1, and then next to that sentence should contain your reason why you think detail 1 is a good example of a supporting detail. Same thing with your detail number 2. Give me your reason or example for that. Detail number 3 and your reason or example that's related to that detail. And of course, you have your closing sentence. So really, you are writing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You are writing 8 sentences. So please make sure that you are doing that as you go on. Now, let's look at the other prompts that you need to write about. This is the last one. What food do you think is the most disgusting to eat? Okay, so you need to make sure that you have that. There will be 8 sentences per prompt, and you have the whole week to do all the slides right here. Actually, you have just the slides 2 to 8 because the first one is gonna be this video. All right, so that is about it. The last thing I need you to do is to make sure that once you are done with your paragraph writing, I want you to highlight just like this. Highlight in green your topic sentence, highlight in yellow your detail and reason together, detail 2 and reason together, detail 3 and reason together, and then your closing sentence will be highlighted in pink. So make sure you're following the rubric and reading along to make sure that you have all of this correctly done. And that's it. I will check your writing in a week. So thank you so much, and you have a great day. We are going to end the call. So I'll see you again in the next video.